Moses. It happened that Abba Moses was struggling with the temptation of fornication. Unable to stay any longer in the cell, he went and told Abba Isidore. The old man exhorted him to return to his cell, but he refused, saying, "Abba, I cannot." Then Abba Isidore took Moses out onto the terrace and said to him, "Look towards the west." He looked and saw hordes of demons flying about and making a noise before launching an attack. Then Abba Isidore said to him, "Look towards the east." He turned and saw an innumerable multitude of holy angels shining with glory. Abba Isidore said, "See, these are sent by the Lord to the saints to bring them help, while those in the west fight against them. Those who are with us are more in number than they are." Then Abba Moses gave thanks to God, plucked up courage, and returned to his cell. A brother at Sketes committed a fault. A council was called to which Abba Moses was invited, but he refused to go to it. Then the priest sent someone to say to him, "Come, for everyone is waiting for you." So he got up and went. He took a leaking jug, filled it with water, and carried it with him. The others came out to meet him and said to him, "What is this, Father?" The old man said to them, "My sins run out behind me, and I do not see them, and today I am coming to judge the errors of another." When they heard that, they said no more to the brother, but forgave him. Another day, when a council was being held in Sketes, the fathers treated Moses with contempt in order to test him, saying, "Why does this black man come among us?" When he heard this, he kept silence. When the council was dismissed, they said to him, "Abba, did that not grieve you at all?" He said to them, "I was grieved, but I kept silence." It was said of Abba Moses that he was ordained, and the ephod was placed upon him. The archbishop said to him, "See, Abba Moses, now you are entirely white." The old man said to him, "It is true of the outside, Lord and Father, but what about him who sees the inside?" Wishing to test him, the archbishop said to the priests, "When Abba Moses comes into the sanctuary, drive him out, and go with him to hear what he says." So the old man came in, and they covered him with abuse and drove him out, saying, "Outside, black man!" Going out, he said to himself, "They have acted rightly concerning you, for your skin is as black as ashes. You are not a man, so why should you be allowed to meet men?" Once the order was given at Sketes, "Fast this week." Now it happened that some brothers came from Egypt to visit Abba Moses, and he cooked something for them. Seeing some smoke, the neighbors said to the ministers, "Look, Moses has broken the commandment and has cooked something in his cell." The ministers said, "When he comes, we will speak to him ourselves." When the Saturday came, since they knew Abba Moses' remarkable way of life, the ministers said to him in front of everyone, "O Abba Moses, you did not keep the commandment of men, but it was so that you might keep the commandment of God." A brother came to Sketes to visit Abba Moses and asked him for a word. The old man said to him, "Go, sit in your cell, and your cell will teach you everything." Abba Moses said, "The man who flees and lives in solitude is like a bunch of grapes ripened by the sun, but he who remains amongst men is like an unripe grape." The magistrate heard about Abba Moses one day, and he went to Sketes to see him. They told the old man. He got up and fled to the marsh. Some people met him and said to him, "Old man, tell us where the cell of Abba Moses is." He said to them, "What do you want with him? He is a fool." So the magistrate went back to the church and said to the ministers, "I heard people talk about Abba Moses, and I went to see him, but there was an old man going into Egypt who crossed our path, and we asked him where Abba Moses' cell is, and he said to us, "What do you want with him? He is a fool." When they heard this, the clergy were offended and said, "What kind of an old man was it who spoke like that about the holy man to you?" He said, "An old man wearing old clothes, a big black man." They said, "It was Abba Moses himself, and it was in order not to meet you that he said that." The magistrate went away greatly edified. At Sketes, Abba Moses used to say, "If we keep the commandments of our fathers, I will answer for it on God's behalf that the barbarians will not come here. But if we do not keep the commandments of God, this place will be devastated." One day, when the brethren were sitting beside him, he said to them, "Look, the barbarians are coming to Sketes today. Get up and flee." They said to him, "Abba, won't you flee too?" He said to them, "As for me, I have been waiting for this day for many years, that the word of the Lord Christ may be fulfilled, which says, 'All who take the sword will perish by the sword.'" They said to him, "We will not flee either, but we will die with you." He said to them, "That is nothing to do with me. Let everyone decide for himself whether he stops or not." Now there were 7 brothers there, and he said to them, "Look, the barbarians are drawing near to the door." Then they came in and slew them. But one fled and hid under the cover of a pile of rope. And he saw 7 crowns descending and crowning them. A brother questioned Abba Moses, saying, "I see something in front of me, and I am not able to grasp it." The old man said to him, "If you do not become dead like those who are in the tomb, you will not be able to grasp it." Abba Pimin said that a brother asked Abba Moses how someone could consider himself as dead towards his neighbor. The old man said to him, "If a man does not think in his heart that he is already 3 days dead and in the tomb, he cannot attain this saying." It was said of Abba Moses at Sketes that when he had arranged to go to Petra, he grew tired in the course of the journey and said to himself, "How can I find the water I need there?" Then a voice said to him, "Go and do not be anxious about anything." So he went. Some fathers came to see him, and he had only a small bottle of water. He used it all up in cooking lentils for them. The old man was worried, so he went in and came out of his cell, and he prayed to God, and a cloud of rain came to Petra and filled all the cisterns. After this, the visitors said to the old man, "Tell us why you went in and out." The old man said to them, "I was arguing with God, saying, 'You brought me here, and now I have no water for your servants.' This is why I was going in and out. I was going on at God till he sent us some water." 7 instructions which Abba Moses sent to Abba Pimin. He who puts them into practice will escape all punishment and will live in peace, whether he dwells in the desert or in the midst of brethren. Instruction number 1. The monk must die to his neighbor and never judge him at all, in any way whatever. Instruction number 2. The monk must die to everything before leaving the body, in order not to harm anyone. Instruction number 3. If the monk does not think in his heart that he is a sinner, God will not hear him. The brother said, "What does that mean, to think in his heart that he is a sinner?" Then the old man said, "When someone is occupied with his own faults, he does not see those of his neighbor." Instruction number 4. If a man's deeds are not in harmony with his prayer, he labors in vain. The brother said, "What is this harmony between practice and prayer?" The old man said, "We should no longer do those things against which we pray, for when a man gives up his own will, then God is reconciled with him and accepts his prayers." The brother asked, "In all the affliction which the monk gives himself, what helps him?" The old man said, "It is written, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble." Instruction number 5. The old man was asked, "What is the good of the fasts and watchings which a man imposes on himself?" And he replied, "They make the soul humble, for it is written, Consider my affliction and my trouble, and forgive all my sins." So, if the soul gives itself all this hardship, God will have mercy on it. Instruction number 6. The old man was asked, "What should a man do in all the temptations and evil thoughts that come upon him?" The old man said to him, "He should weep and implore the goodness of God to come to his aid, and he will obtain peace if he prays with discernment. For it is written, With the Lord on my side, I do not fear. What can man do to me?" Instruction number 7. A brother asked the old man, "Here is a man who beats his servant because of a fault he has committed. What will the servant say?" The old man said, "If the servant is good, he should say, 'Forgive me, I have sinned.'" The brother said to him, "Nothing else?" The old man said, "No, for from the moment he takes upon himself responsibility for the affair and says, 'I have sinned,' immediately the Lord will have mercy on him. The aim in all these things is not to judge one's neighbor. For truly, when the hand of the Lord caused all the firstborn in the land of Egypt to die, no house was without its dead." The brother said, "What does that mean?" The old man said, "If we are on the watch to see our own faults, we shall not see those of our neighbor. It is folly for a man who has a dead person in his house to leave him there and go weep over his neighbor's dead. To die to one's neighbor is this, to bear your own faults, and not to pay attention to anyone else wondering whether they are good or bad. Do no harm to anyone. Do not think anything bad in your heart towards anyone. Do not scorn the man who does evil. Do not put confidence in him who does wrong to his neighbor. Do not rejoice with him who injures his neighbor. This is what dying to one's neighbor means. Do not rail against anyone, but rather say, 'God knows each one.' Do not agree with him who slanders. Do not rejoice at his slander, and do not hate him who slanders his neighbor. This is what it means, do not judge. Do not have hostile feelings towards anyone, and do not let dislike dominate your heart. Do not hate him who hates his neighbor. This is what peace is. Encourage yourself with this thought. Affliction lasts but a short time, while peace is forever. By the grace of God the Word. Amen.